There's something mysterious and deeply powerful about human touch. A single, well-timed touch can say things that 1,000 words can't. It can communicate trust, warmth, desire, strength, and emotional connection. Women are highly attuned to the language of touch. When it's done right, it can bypass rational thought and speak directly to the emotional part of her mind. This is not about manipulation or tricks. It's about understanding the subtle, almost invisible psychological signals that build real attraction and make her heart respond to your presence. Most men think attraction is all about words, expensive dates, or flashy gestures. They overlook one of the most primal, ancient ways human beings connect: physical touch. From the moment we're born, touch is how we learn love, comfort, and safety. For women, this sense of touch often carries a deep emotional charge. It's not about aggressive moves or forced intimacy. In fact, the kind of touch that truly captures her heart is often gentle, almost invisible, but unforgettable. When a man knows how to use touch correctly, he doesn't need to chase. He doesn't need to talk too much. His presence alone becomes magnetic. She feels it in her body, not just in her mind. The psychology behind it is rooted in how the female brain processes emotional safety and attraction. A woman who feels safe in your presence and senses your confident but calm energy is far more likely to be drawn to you. Touch amplifies that effect. But here's the secret. Timing, placement, and emotional calibration matter more than anything else. Imagine you're standing close to her, and there's a moment of shared laughter. It's natural, it's easy. You gently touch her forearm for a brief second as you laugh. That micro-touch, less than a second, can trigger her nervous system to release oxytocin, the bonding hormone. She doesn't think, "Oh, he touched my arm." Instead, her body simply feels, "This feels good. This feels safe. I like this." This is how attraction often works at a subconscious level. Touch isn't about possession, it's about connection. Women are extremely sensitive to how a touch makes them feel emotionally. If it feels forced or rushed, it triggers their defenses. If it feels natural and confident, it opens the door to trust. What most men don't understand is that the power of touch lies not in intensity, but in subtlety. A whisper of touch can be louder than a scream. Think about the first touches that happen between people who are truly attracted to each other. It's rarely some grand cinematic gesture. It's usually a brush of the hand, a light touch on the back, fingers grazing as you hand something over. These seemingly innocent touches create tiny sparks of connection. Each spark builds upon the previous one until she begins to associate your presence with a warm, safe, exciting feeling. That's the emotional chemistry that makes her heart respond. Psychologists have studied how touch affects emotion for decades. Women, on average, have more sensitive skin nerve endings than men, especially on the hands, arms, shoulders, and lower back. These areas are wired to respond to warmth, pressure, and proximity. When a man touches these areas with confidence but respect, it communicates strength without aggression. It says, "I see you, I'm here, I'm present." But here's what separates an ordinary touch from a powerful one: emotional calibration. If you're nervous, insecure, or trying too hard, your touch will reflect that energy. She'll feel tension in your hand, lack of rhythm, or hesitation. Subconsciously, this creates resistance rather than attraction. But when you are calm, grounded, and centered, your touch naturally carries that energy. She feels it. It feels stable. It feels masculine. Confidence isn't loud. It's quiet. It's steady. A confident man doesn't need to rush or overdo anything. He touches in a way that makes her feel she's with someone who knows who he is. A light touch on the small of her back as you walk through a crowd. A warm, brief touch on the shoulder when you greet her. A playful nudge during a shared joke. All these touches communicate layers of things words can't express. In female psychology, touch creates a bridge between the emotional and physical world. Women often need to feel emotionally connected before they fully open up physically. Gentle, respectful touches build that bridge gradually. They allow her nervous system to relax around you. They make her feel safe, desired, and understood. But let's get even more specific. There are areas that, when touched naturally and respectfully, can leave a lasting impression. The forearm, for example, is one of the safest and most effective places to initiate touch. It's non-threatening, but intimate enough to create a subtle spark. Lightly touching her forearm while making eye contact or sharing a laugh can build rapport in seconds. The small of the back is another powerful area. This is a sensitive zone, close to the core of her body. A brief touch here, like guiding her gently through a door, can create an unmistakable feeling of protection and strength. But this must be done with the right energy. It should never feel possessive, only protective and natural. The shoulder touch is also potent. It can communicate warmth, reassurance, and closeness. For example, if she shares something personal, lightly touching her shoulder can make her feel truly heard. It's not about the pressure of the touch, but about the energy behind it. But remember this: no touch works without emotional context. A touch from someone she doesn't trust feels wrong. A touch from someone she feels connected to can make her melt inside. That's why your overall vibe matters more than technique. If your presence communicates safety, strength, and warmth, every touch becomes amplified. If your presence communicates insecurity or neediness, every touch becomes awkward. A lot of men misunderstand female attraction. They think it's purely visual or logical. But for most women, attraction is felt. It's a subtle dance of energy, emotions, and signals. Touch is one of the main instruments in this dance. But it only works when the music is right. That means your body language, your tone of voice, your calmness, your eye contact. All of these must align with your touch. If you lean in with jittery energy or try to force physical contact too soon, her nervous system will pick up on it instantly. Women are remarkably good at reading these signals, even when they're not aware of it consciously. Her body simply tenses. She may smile politely, but internally she's stepping back. But when you move slowly, read the moment, and let the touch happen naturally, her body relaxes. She begins to associate you with comfort and safety. That's the foundation of deep attraction. You don't need to be perfect. In fact, trying to perform the perfect touch will only make you stiff and unnatural. What matters is your state. When you feel good about yourself, when you are genuinely present with her, your touch will naturally flow. It's not an act. It's an expression of your grounded masculinity. This is why touch from a confident man feels different. It doesn't demand, it invites. It doesn't rush. It lingers just enough to leave a trace. It's not about possession, but connection. And when a woman feels that, she doesn't just notice it, she remembers it. Think about the power of the first touch between two people who are deeply connected. That single moment can live in someone's memory for years. It's often not because of the touch itself, but because of what the touch represented. It represented safety, chemistry, excitement, warmth, trust. Women crave that feeling. It's one of the most powerful emotional experiences they can have. Another key to mastering this is pacing. You don't touch a woman the same way at the beginning of an interaction as you might later when trust has been built. Early touches should be light, brief, and placed in safe zones like the forearm or shoulder. As trust builds, touches can become slightly more intimate. But always respect her signals. If she moves away, stop. If she leans in, that's a green light. Female psychology is deeply tied to trust. Touch can either build it or break it. The difference lies in your sensitivity to her response. A man who can read subtle cues, like how she positions her body, her breathing, her eye contact, will always be ahead. This sensitivity isn't weakness, it's power. It shows emotional intelligence, and women find that deeply attractive. Also, never underestimate the power of stillness. Sometimes, not touching can create more tension than touching too much. It allows her to crave the connection. When the touch finally happens, it feels electrifying. It's like the build-up in a song before the beat drops. Her body is already anticipating it. The best touches are the ones that feel unplanned. They happen naturally in moments of shared emotion, laughter, storytelling, or silence. That's why focusing too much on technique can actually backfire. The real secret isn't in memorizing steps. It's in becoming the kind of man whose presence makes her want to be touched by him. This is why self-work matters. If you carry insecurity, resentment, or desperation, women will sense it. Your touch will carry that energy. But when you are calm, strong, self-assured, and respectful, your touch becomes a gift, not a demand. She feels cherished, not pressured. Touch also creates anticipation. A woman's imagination is one of the most powerful forces in attraction. A well-timed touch can light up that imagination, creating a storm of emotions she can't fully explain. It's the subtle spark that makes her think about you long after you're gone.